This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, beginning at verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. Verse 2, Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is in Salakia, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3, For the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to call volume. La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arha, Kodash Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and sincerity and risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim that are listening and learning to you. I say shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, whom appear like the other nations, but who believe and subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I was on Newsbreak, came across an article, and it's funny how these articles come in, because as of since the last year, Newsbreak articles pretty much been a lot of C-19 related, but now more and more they're going into. It's just funny how the Most High do it, because I'm gonna just read the title and then let you go from there. What it says: Local company issues C-19 vaccine mandate impacting thousands of employees. So that made me think of a scripture, because at the end of the day, we ain't at the complete end, but we, like Elder Malcolm has said, we ain't the last days. We in the last moments. You know what I'm saying? They about to do like we have already stated and mandate. And pretty soon, once one company start mandating, it's going to be all the companies. That's why to actually like deal with going to government buildings, you know what I mean? Like you got to have the mask and you got to, you know what I mean? Like, so the government action, I mean, well, it's ultimately the will of the Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, but basically he's letting the people be the ones to basically enforce the fact of you got to be vaccinated. See, they don't want to seem like the culprit. You know what I'm saying? But people are so simple. And the thing is, to show you, I'm pretty sure they did, because you got to remember, our government deals with simulations. You know what I mean? Did you know that like you got those like army games that's actually like I ain't gonna say produced by the army, but the military has a say so in it, and depending on how good you do on the game, they'll come and try and basically recruit you. You know what I mean? That's just like you'd be surprised how much the government is involved in everything. It was a book I had back in the day. And it was talking about how you know like they was showing my I lost my train of thought, but like in that movie Avatar with the big blue humanoid beings or whatever that's supposed to be based on Gad. They actually had the military actually was like a consultant on that movie. You know, uh, you know, pretty sure it's other movies that they've been consultants on, but like I said, they got their hands pretty much in like a lot of different things. But like I said, it made me think of this scripture in the book of Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 10. I mean, Salakia, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So on one hand, they telling people, it's not like a few brothers that was telling me that Amazon literally is and not forcing it, or you got these different companies that's not forcing you to take the vaccine. But these healthcare like jobs in healthcare, like I believe this company that's forcing their employees to take it, that's a healthcare job. So it's gonna go beyond the point of you have a choice. They just gonna force you, or you're gonna be tested. Is you really willing to give up something? You know. And if you a carnal person and all you can see or believe in is what you can see with your own two eyes, then yeah, you're probably not. This is the book of, Salakia. It says local company issues. Well, this is out of Cleveland News. So this is coming out of our city. Call Haloyim. Call Haloyim, Lawyer How about Shem Yoshan. It says Mid Ohio, one of Northeast Ohio's largest nursing home companies, is making the C-19 vaccine mandatory for employees. That means thousands of workers have until June 1st to get a first round vaccination. Continuing Healthcare Solutions has become one of the first large-scale nursing facilities to make the C-19 vaccine mandatory for everyone who works there. The safest way to protect our residents from C-19 is having all of our staff being vaccinated, said Mark Morley, Vice President of Operations. The vaccine mandate affects thousands of employees with over 30 senior living communities across Ohio. There are several locations in Northeast Ohio, including Mentor, Cuyahoga Falls, Million, and Geneva. Workers can get their vaccine at their facility or use one of the Salakia. Workers can get their vaccine at their facility or use one of the community options. We do want to protect our staff's privacy and our residents' privacy, but in terms of statistics, we are pretty consistent with the state's national average. We are a little north of 40% for employees, for residents a little north of 80%, said Morley. So, and remember they were targeting like nursing home facilities first. But like I said, again, that's not just going to be in this nursing field. That's going to be everywhere. It's not a coincidence that they started school back at the same time that everybody's actually eligible to get a COVID-19 shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is just like clearly in your face. It says morally. I mean, you think that's by happenstance and coincidence? Nothing happens by happenstance or coincidence. It says Morley says employees will be exempt from medical or religious reasons. However, they must provide documentation for doctors or religious organizations. Oh, so they're saying that basically if you have a medical or religious reason, you could be exempt from it. But then I remember they was talking about putting legislation in New York where they were saying basically that you couldn't get out of it even if you had religious reasons. You know what I mean? But the days of you having a choice, choosing, I just don't want to take that because I don't know what it is. That is going to be basically not tested. That's obliterated. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you want. You're about to be tried and tested. So, and like I said, eventually it'll go beyond that. You know what I mean? Where they talking about the medical and religious reasons. Because I know for a fact they said in New York they had already been trying to. I mean, it was put on the books or it was brought up that they was saying basically those that didn't want to get inoculated, they would do like many FEMA camps or something. I know that was legislation that was going to be on, on the ballot in New York. It makes me think of something as well, and all that goes out the window when you actually dealing with real life shit. Like, quick testimony. I remember when I was locked up last year, around this time. It was a riot that jumped off. And mind you, they said because of COVID, you had to have your own cell, yada, yada, yada. You couldn't, you had to, and then the riot jumped off and they went and grabbed all these people that they actually was able to obtain or catch that actually participated in it. And all those rules that they set in place went out the window. They started bunking people up and people up there crying like, I ain't laughed, but I was like, yeah, these people stupid. Because they up there like, you can't do this. This is against the law. And I'm like, nigga, don't you know you ain't got no rights when you locked up? Like there be people that be locked up before. Like, you said they were talking about you got rights. They sure you ain't got no fucking rights. Why are you out here free? Didn't you just have to stay all in the house if you ain't had no job or whatnot? So I got one last scripture. You got all these other countries. I just did a video of that. You got all these other countries re-locked down, Ireland and Italy, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulterers, know ye not that the friendship of the world is an enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore be a friend of this, so like it be a friend of the world, is the enemy of Yahweh. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of people that's literally going to conform to actually do this, as far as take that jab to actually get back to some semblance of normality, because they think because they open shit up. You know what I mean? It makes me think. That make me think of First Thessalonians chapter 5 about peace and safety, because you got people feeling they in good case right now, not seeing that gas prices steadily going up, your money buying less and less shit. You know what I mean? So when all the calamity comes, it's gonna seem like it came out of nowhere. I got one last scripture. This is the book of Revelations. This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Call Elohim la Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So, like I said, I already know for a fact that they said that they're not exactly where they want to be at with the numbers. But this devil do be lying a lot, because, like I said, I remember watching one news publication. They said they was over 100 million already vaccinated. Then I watched something else. They say they under or close to 100 million. So to show you that this motherfucker truly is the devil, they just lie. But I know they wanted a certain amount of people inoculated by a certain amount of time. Now, like I said, I know he wanted 100 million by May 1st. So we April 1st or April 2nd now. She got pretty much a butt. They want to be at over 200,000. But if you start, like I said, because I've read this as well. The government is pushing incentives for the employers, these companies, to actually push incentives to the employees to actually just go ahead and voluntarily take the vaccine. But once it gets to the point that people keep on refusing to take the vaccine, then they're going to have to come more draconian on it. It's like how you try to get your child to do something that you butter up and try to be sweet, and then when they ain't listening, then you just smack it with the hammer. So that's why he's gonna come down with great wrath. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to go back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, or be destroyed. And with that, I will end the lesson. Lord willing, it was edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Kol Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule up. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and sincerity, and risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Aqua, to the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appear like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and Boawath, Lababal, shalom.